Good evening, Richmond. This is Stoney again, and want to give you all an update on the city's response to COVID-19, the novel coronavirus. Believe it or not, today marks 3 weeks since I joined a number of regional leaders, Henrico, Chesterfield, Hanover, Richmond County, and declared a state of emergency in response to the COVID-19 pandemic that everyone in the world is dealing with right now. And in that 3 weeks' time, we've seen 81 confirmed cases in the city of Richmond proper, and unfortunately 3 tragic deaths as well. First, I want to begin by saying that my heart goes out to the 3 families that are been affected by that loss of life. It unfortunately will not be the last that we see in the city of Richmond, and as tests continue to be taken and folks continue to get tested, we're going to see more and more confirmed cases in the city of Richmond. And so we are definitely not out of the woods. And I want to begin today by thanking many of our frontline workers out there against this fight against the coronavirus. I want to thank our healthcare workers, our nurses, and our doctors who are out there going to work each and every day, who are essentially on the front lines going to war against this virus. I want to thank our first responders, police officers, firefighters, those who work at Richmond Ambulance Authority, those who are still working 911, who are coming to work each and every day to serve our residents, and those who are still a part of that essential workforce who are keeping society running, those who are working at grocery stores, you name it, banks, pharmacies. Thank you for everything you've done over the last few weeks. This is, I think, surprised and snuck up on a lot of us as a world, and you are the saving grace at the moment, ensuring that we stay healthy and we still have the supplies necessary to continue our way of life in this new normal. I wanted to provide you all today with just some food for thought about COVID-19 and the patients who have been affected by COVID-19. This is from the CDC after 2,500 COVID-19 patients had been tested and been confirmed positive. Take a look at this breakdown. 6% of these patients, it was roughly 2,500, these numbers come from the CDC around March 19. 6% were 85 years and older. 25% of those patients who were confirmed positive were 65 to 84 years old. 36% were 45 to 64 years old. 30% were 20 to 44, and 5% were those who were infants to 19 years old. What that says to me is that this virus does not discriminate. It knows no boundaries. And so if at one time we thought this was just only a virus or a disease that impacted our senior citizens in our community, they were wrong about that. From the information they had at the moment, yes, it showed that a lot of our seniors were at risk. But this just shows you that each and every one of us can be infected with this virus. And so we have to continue to practice that social distancing, keep on keeping 6 feet away from people, staying home. As you all know, that the governor this past Monday issued a stay-at-home order. I applauded the governor for that. I thank him for that. It is the only weapon we really have to ensure that we flatten the curve. And we are far from our apex. We look at the numbers today. We have 81 confirmed cases. What we've seen in modeling from the University of Washington and other places, that we are far from reaching the apex here in the city of Richmond or here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And so we have to take these really tough measures right away to ensure that we do not infect others out there. We have to act as if we all have this virus. And so I'm staying home, I'm self-isolating, and you should self-isolate as well. Now, if you feel like you have any symptoms, if you need a place to call, if you feel like you may have some symptoms that are related to the COVID-19, please call the Virginia Department of Health. And if you live in Richmond and Henrico, 804-205-3501. This is a health line for all symptoms and any whatever you may feel at the time. But please call that number if you feel like you might be having symptoms related to COVID-19. So let's get back to the governor's stay-at-home order. So like I said, I applaud the governor's stay-at-home order. I'm glad we're doing it. We joined a number of other states now who have actually joined in and have stay-at-home orders. I really do believe that the whole country should be staying at home right now. There's still some states out there that's still out there. The Wyomings of the world are still out there, free and open. I just believe that right now we're in a critical moment in this, not only in the city's history, but in the country's history, and we should all be staying at home. This is our greatest weapon. What we did to respond to that stay-at-home order, we are going to limit access to the James River Park system. That means if you were going out there and laying out there and sunbathing or swimming and gathering and acting like this was, spring break 2015, we're not doing that anymore. We are shutting off access to places like Belle Isle, Pony Pasture, Texas Beach, which means we'll be closing down parking lots this coming weekend to respond to that. It's just not a place that we should be right now gathering in big groups. The governor did this in response to what he saw out in Virginia Beach and along some of the beaches along our coast. And we essentially treat the James River here locally as beachfront property. And so we will definitely be limiting access to the James River this week and further into the state of emergency. Also, we have removed some goals, some basketball goals, and the nets and some of the areas of the city, all areas of the city. If you have a basketball court that's a public basketball court, we're removing those installations. We're also removing the nets and tennis courts as well. We're closing down all sort of athletic courts, basketball, tennis, pickleball. Never played it, but I'm sure people out there do play it. We don't want you out there doing these sort of team activities at the moment. This is not the time to be passing the basketball or hitting tennis balls right now. We want you still to enjoy your Richmond City parks, but there's a way that you can do that. You can walk, you can run, you can bike, you can hike, and you can do that with someone who you live with, someone part of your family. But if you are with people who you're not in your household, you need to stay 6 feet away. And I know there are some people who are somewhat upset about the closure of these different athletic courts. And you know what? You are free to be upset. You are free to be upset, but don't get upset at the city. Be upset with me. I'm the one who signed off on it, and I think it's the right thing to do. You can dislike me now, but you can definitely thank your government later as we get through this pandemic. Also, some news that we provided this week to the city is that we know that there's still a number of our small businesses around the city who have been the backbone, the middle bone, the front bone, the hip bone, all the bones of this city. They've got us through the recession. They were part of our renaissance, and I want those businesses to know that we care about them. Now, obviously, the city of Richmond can't provide the panacea. We will work on providing relief to our businesses as much as possible. And you heard about the tax amnesty program that we have proposed to City Council that will provide amnesty to most taxes. Those taxes that would be collected between March and the end of June, the fiscal year. Alongside that as well, though, we have the Richmond Small Business Disaster Loan Program that we launched just yesterday. It's going to be interest-free. These are interest-free emergency loans for up to $20,000 to small businesses within the city limits. We want this sort of boost that you can get from the city of Richmond to go towards paying employee wages, to empowering local and small businesses to continue operating and keep employees on their payroll. The application will be available on Monday, April 6th, and applications will be considered on a first-come, first-served basis. We are using $1 million to buttress this fund, $1 million from the Economic Development Authority, and it's because of some of the savings we did in the renegotiation with the Washington Redskins that are now allowing for us to provide this $1 million to fund small businesses who are in need of that relief. In addition to that, there are also dollars that will be coming from the SBA and a part of the $2.2 trillion stimulus package as well. So when you add what we're doing alongside those who are in state government and federal government, that's how we create the sort of safety net for our small businesses who have been the backbone of this thriving community. in addition to just our businesses as well, we care about our small business, but we also care about our families. Right now, a lot of our families are facing a lot of hardship. Some of them can't go to work, some have been laid off, some of them have lost their jobs, some of their kids are not receiving meals each and every day. I want to give a shout out to RPS once again for the 40 plus food distribution sites throughout the city of Richmond. They're in South Side, North Side, the East End, and also in the West End. They're everywhere. They're getting into the neighborhoods as well, making sure our children are getting the meals that they need to survive through this pandemic. And our focus on families, I want to thank the Robbins Foundation. They are starting the Robbins Foundation Family Crisis Fund. They are committing $500,000 to this fund, and the city of Richmond will match that with $500,000 as well. And so that's $1 million right away to help fund relief payments to families here in the city of Richmond. So let me talk about the eligibility requirements for our families. Eligible families will receive a one-time payment of $500. Our Office of Community Wealth Building will facilitate the disbursement of these city funds to interested and eligible families working through another great nonprofit out there in Richmond. If you are interested in these cash payments or in these checks, these payments, please reach out to the Office of Community Wealth Building. That number is 804-646-6464. That number again, 804-646-6464. So these are two great community programs out there that I think will be helpful to our community. We got the Small Business Disaster Loan Relief Program, and we also have the Robbins Foundation Crisis Fund Program. Please use them. They all will be centralized into a new website that we rolled out today, and I think that you should check it out. I want you to check it out with me, actually. We launched a website today called RVA Strong. This is where we will centralize some of the resources that could be available to our friends here and neighbors in the community. It's a place to go get some help, but also the place to provide help as well by providing contributions to great funds like the Robbins Foundation Family Crisis Fund. So let's take a look at rvastrong.org. I never did this before. They're going to follow me to my computer, and we're going to go check out rvastrong.org. Let's see here. You see me? Okay, we're here. So ladies and gentlemen, this is rvastrong.org. Here we'll keep an update on what's going on in regards to the COVID-19 pandemic, on city updates. There will be health resources here as well for those who are in need of some resources in regards to whether or not you have symptoms, things of that nature, need medical care. You can go here for that too. You can support the causes that are out there, like the Robbins Foundation, the Community Foundation, a number of great causes. Those are helping our restaurants get through this tough time, and our service workers out there. This for individuals as well, the relief program, that the Family Crisis Program, the Robbins Foundation is sponsoring there as well, and also a bunch of other information as well. We also will have this in Spanish too for our speaking residents in the city. But there's a great feature here that I'm really excited about, and I think we kind of need this in this time and moment. I know there's a lot of folks out there with a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear. Folks don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, and we are home, we're self-isolating. A lot of us are watching Netflix. I watched the Tiger King the other day. Wow, bizarre, right? I'm sure you all have watched it as well. That is an interesting Netflix docu-series right there. But when you push away from the Netflix, you push away from the TV for a second, or push away from that good book, I want you to click on Tell Us a Story here at the rvastrong.org website. We want you to tell your story about, here we go. We want to tell your story about how you're coping with the quarantine, the self-isolation, the stay-at-home order, whatever you want to call it. How are you going about educating and homeschooling your kids right now through this pandemic? What restaurants are you getting takeout from? We got a lot of great restaurants out there. Takeout opportunities are still available. I want you to tell those stories right here at rvastrong.org. And what I'll do, and in the future updates to the public, I'll go through and read some of these stories, and We'll share some of these great stories, and I'm hoping for some exciting ones. But I know there's some sadness out there as well, because the world as we know it has changed. And although the world has changed, a great percentage of this country now is indoors, and we under a new way of life. I have no doubt that we will get through this. This is a very, very resilient city. What I know and what I've been taught in life is that sometimes life brings you to your knees, right? We all have our obstacles. We all have our challenges. And sometimes life will bring you to your knees. And when life does bring you to your knees, the number one thing you have to do is you have to get back up and stand on your 2 feet. What I know about Richmond, what I know about Richmond's generosity, its compassion, its resilience, is that we are going to stand back up as a community. Yes, this is this new normal. It's inconvenient. It gets on my nerves. I know it gets on your nerves as well. But guess what? We're going to get through this. We're going to get back up on our own 2 feet. We're going to fight this coronavirus together. We're going to do whatever's necessary to get through this, right? We're going to do this together as one Richmond. We're going to listen to those social distancing guidelines and those protocols. And by listening to that being our strongest weapon, collectively, we will bend the curve, we will flatten that curve, and we will get back to normal as Richmonders. I'm going to close out tonight. I just want you to know that I love you, Richmond. I'm thinking about you every day. I wish I can get back out there and hug those school kids that I used to see on a daily basis, and just see folks in our great restaurants and just loving our community. We can't do that necessarily right now. We have to do that virtually. We have to do that from afar. And I want to hear about those stories. So, this is the end of tonight, but I will see you out there. Please reach us out here at rvastrong.org. Good night, and God bless.